Inye. Free energy is the foundation of self-sufficiency. Self-sufficiency is the foundation of freedom. Freedom, the very essence of what it means to be American. Freedom, the template from which that sacred document, the Constitution of the United States of America, was created by men with hearts of lions whose desire for freedom was so great they rose up in arms and fought for their beloved freedom. A great many died in the process, but they defeated an army of oppression belonging to the world's most powerful military of that time. Freedom, the divine right of man granted by the Creator of all, granted to us by God Himself. May no man have the right to infringe upon or suppress the freedom of another. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. By 1912, 33,842 electric cars were registered in the United States. These 33,842 electric cars accounted for 38% of all cars in this country at that time. Were these cars fast? No. But like the modern electric car, they used rechargeable batteries as their power source. 1912. Think about that. It's the year 2020. 108 years later? And the electric car still depends on a rechargeable battery as its power source, that we have to depend on a centralized power grid to provide the electricity that we must pay for to charge said battery? Since the early 1900s, we have traveled to the moon and planted our flag on its surface. Since the early 1900s, we have unlocked and unleashed the power of the atom. Since the early 1900s, we have built vast electricity generation and distribution infrastructure that literally covers all developed nations on this planet. At night, our cities can even be seen from space. Since the early 1900s, our knowledge of science, our level of technology has increased exponentially. Yet the electric car still needs to be recharged, and our homes and businesses are still dependent on a centralized power grid to whom we must pay a monthly tribute. The average car still depends on fuel to run, whose exhaust constantly pollutes our environment. Fuel that we depend on a centralized infrastructure to provide, yet we the people are told that the climate is changing and it's our fault because our ranchers' cows pass too much gas and our wives drive too many trucks and SUVs. Therefore, we must pay more taxes. We must pay more for less food and eat less meat. We are told we must pay for less goods and even less water because of this supposed crisis of a shortage in resources that we, the people, are being blamed for. Why isn't there any talk of changing things in such a way that we, the people, can have more freedom, or at least the freedoms we do enjoy are to be left alone? Why isn't there any talk of changing things in such a way that the cost of life for we, the people, can be reduced? 1776. The year the United States of America was born, rising from the ashes of the Revolutionary War, birthed in the blood of tyrants and patriots. 1776, the year our Declaration of Independence was signed and ratified. The year that the concept of freedom was put into writing for this country. Self-sufficiency is the foundation of freedom. I, Kwaku Oreredu, born in Tennessee, raised in the great state of Texas, say we the people of the United States of America need more freedom and a lower cost of living. I, Kwaku Oreredu, inventor of the eGPU, aka Energy Generation Power Unit, demand we the people must have the technology to power our own homes, businesses, and vehicles that is affordable and reliable. I, Kwaku Oreredu, inventor of the eGPU, demand we the people must have the technology to power our own homes without the need for any type of external fuel source. Therefore, we will no longer be dependent on a centralized power grid and eliminate this concept of having to pay someone to supply our energy needs. We need more control of our own lives and ability to move around, not less. Not even if a virus is in our midst. Self-sufficiency is the foundation of freedom. Electricity is literally the foundation of almost all of our civilization's technology. If something were to happen to this centralized power grid in a major metropolitan area, like New Orleans after Hurricane Katrina, for example, it is easily seen how fast our civilization will break down in the absence of electricity. Yet, this centralized power grid on which our lives depend is vulnerable to the wrath of Mother Nature. This centralized power grid on which our lives depend is even more vulnerable in its entirety to the wrath of the sun. With dependency on this centralized power grid, may we pray and thank God that another CME, aka coronal mass ejection, hasn't directly hit Earth like it did during the Carrington event of 1859. Look it up. So if one day enemies of America, foreign or domestic, whoever they may be, decided to pop a few nukes above some of our major metropolitan areas, or even high above the country, at strategic altitudes, above strategic areas, what then? What will become of us, we the people? What will happen to the quality of life that we enjoy and take for granted? How many of us would die as a result of our power grid being destroyed? What massive infrastructural update to harden our entire power generation and distribution infrastructure has our government carried out to protect us? Aren't there continuity of government facilities hardened and protected from a civilization crippling EMP event? So why on ours? Self-sufficiency is the foundation of freedom. This concept of centralized electricity generation and distribution is outdated. Not only is it outdated, because of the absolute dependence of our technology on electricity, I will go as far as saying this concept of a centralized power grid has even become a national security risk of great importance that should be treated as the nation's highest priority, even higher than a virus. Instead, the focus is, climate change is upon us. We must reduce our CO2 emissions. Even though life on this planet is carbon-based, and plants breathe CO2, making it essential for them to thrive. Oh, the resources are going to run out because the world's population is becoming too large and unmanageable. We must all get vaccinated because of the virus. Friends, 40% of the world's population lives within 60 miles of the coastline on a water planet whose surface is about 71% covered by water. I say no Green New Deal, no carbon taxes, and no mandatory vaccines. I mean, isn't there something called the Constitution of the United States with its Bill of Rights that is the supreme law of the land? I could have sworn that is the fact. We can solve these problems in ways that doesn't infringe upon and or reduce our freedoms. Our technological advancements should not be increasing our dependence on centralized infrastructure controlled by few, who are not even elected public servants, by the way. Our freedoms and rights are being infringed upon or flat out taken via excuses such as a virus, for example. Oh, by the way, our basic human rights like freedom is not granted by man. It is and was granted by God. Yeah, capital G-O-D, and it's non-negotiable. It's not even up for debate, for real. Friends, wake up, please. Wake up, please. Our technological advancements should be increasing our level of self-sufficiency, which will in turn increase our freedom. Our cost of living should be getting cheaper, not more expensive. See through all the lies and nonsensical excuses we are being told. My fellow Americans, my fellow humans of Earth, in light of what's been said thus far, I have presented to you a major problem that plagues all of humanity. This problem is the progressive infringement on our diminishing freedoms and rights as Americans and as members of the human race on this planet. So I ask you, what is to be done about this? What are we, the people, going to do about this? Are we just going to sit in a state of denial and do nothing and wake up one day with no freedom? I, Kwaku Oweredu, it's my fellow man. What are we, the people, going to do about this problem of this progressive infringement upon our diminishing freedoms and rights using excuses like a virus? So friends, I ask again, what is to be done about this? Well, I have an answer. I, Kwaku Oweredu, inventor of the eGPU, which is an over-unity 3-energy transformer whose electrical output should be greater than its electrical input. I am asking for we the people to come together, rise up, and rally behind helping me to finish the development, mass production, and distribution of this technology. I can't do it alone. Imagine owning a power generation system that is no larger than a compact refrigerator in your garage, completely powering your home. Imagine owning a power generation system providing 100% of your home's electricity needs that requires no fuel, no sun, and no wind, whose method of generating electricity is clean and sustainable, rendering you completely independent, physically and financially, from the centralized power grid. No more lockdowns. Your home will no longer be physically connected to the grid. Live free of power consumption worries and the accompanying high cost. No more smart meter. Just imagine this. No more being told we have to conserve energy. We must limit our lives because of the need to reduce CO2. The eGPU has zero emissions. Imagine the freedom and peace of mind, no longer having your energy consumption needs constantly monitored 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. No more smart meters. Imagine the freedom of being able to choose a site to build a home, no longer having to worry about the cost of utility infrastructure. Imagine owning your very own fuelless, self-sustaining, zero-emissions electricity generation system that will provide you electricity even if a storm, an act of Mother Nature, knocks out the power in your community. Imagine the level of self-sufficiency of being able to own this very affordable, simple technology. Just imagine how electricity availability and its cost will no longer be used to control your life. This is my invention, the eGPU, the Energy Generation Power Unit. These things I just stated is what I designed it to do. Free energy is the foundation of self-sufficiency. Self-sufficiency is the foundation of freedom. I truly believe if we ever want to enjoy the physical and economic freedom of having the technology to completely eliminate our dependence on a centralized system for our daily energy needs, then we must roll our sleeves up, invent, develop, and produce this technology ourselves. I have done the hardest part, which is inventing and engineering the technology into a practical device which should be able to power a home or electric vehicle. I need your help to do the rest. So friends, I ask again, help me to help us make our lives better. Help me to help you eliminate your energy cost and dependence on a controlled, centralized power grid. Please subscribe to my Patreon page. It's only $5 per month. And in return, you will be able to download everything. I mean, full disclosure, including all technical drawings for every part of this device, all supporting documents that explain exactly how and why this device will work. You will even be able to download the actual AutoCAD files I created during the design process of the eGPU. I truly mean full disclosure, and I am not holding back any secrets. You will have enough information to build your very own eGPU if you wished. With your help, with your support, I will be able to raise the money to build my own eGPU on camera, test it on camera, and post these videos for all to see this technology is real and will work. With your financial support, I will then immediately begin mass producing the eGPU and selling it to the public. This will be just one aspect of we the people's very own Operation Free Energy Freedom. I call upon all Americans and all freedom-loving, prosperity-aspiring human beings of this great planet who have the means, who have the will, who have the ambitious nature to rally behind my cause. I am but the seed, only the origin of this knowledge. But I can't do this by myself. I don't want to control this technology. I will not control this technology. Free energy belongs to we the people and will be controlled by we the people. I call upon all the machine shops. I call upon all the electrical engineers, electricians, mechanical engineers, construction workers, gamers, hot rodders, all of the mechanically inclined. Rise up, backyard inventors. Mobilize! All you who move forward without me and build the eGPU for yourself will become your own aspect of the operation Free Energy Freedom. As the virus, this economic biological weapon that was unleashed upon the world, is being used as an excuse for these draconian infringements on our freedoms and rights, an attempt to permanently destroy the very principles of freedom on which this country was established.
The Great Reset.
In response, I, Kwaku Uredu, inventor of the eGPU, hereby release the full disclosure of this free energy technology into the public domain. I declare my invention is now under the control of we the people. Operation Free Energy Freedom has now been initiated. America, hear me. Mobilize. Go forth and spread this knowledge I've given you. Act upon it. Act upon it. Keep the United States of America great and free. In the name of Jesus Christ, may God bless America and may God bless humanity.
We are a Christian nation.
You can't afford to subscribe to my Patreon channel, email me and I will send you this information anyway. All I ask in return is to preserve and spread the word.